Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt like you were behind? Not because anyone said it, not because anyone did anything, but because the people around you already seemed 5 moves ahead. In that moment, you weren't in control. You were just reacting, playing defense, scrambling to catch up, and it sucks. That's the exact position Miyamoto Musashi made sure he was never in. Musashi wasn't just a samurai. He wasn't just undefeated. He was a psychological predator in a world of prey. A master of strategy, foresight, manipulation, and the long game. He thought 5 steps ahead of everyone else, not just in combat, but in life. And that's what made him untouchable. This video is not about being nice. It's not about manifesting or good vibes. This is about mental warfare, power, discipline, strategy, and how to never be caught off guard again. If you want to move like a shadow in a world of sheep, pay attention, because by the end you'll start seeing the world the way Musashi did. Cold, calculated, clear. 1. Stop thinking like a victim. Start thinking like a strategist. Musashi once said, "The primary thing when you take a sword in your hands is your intention to cut the enemy." Most people are aimless. They scroll, they react, they hope. They don't move with intent, they drift. Musashi, he was surgical. Every action had weight behind it. He didn't fight for fun. He fought with purpose, to win, to dominate, to survive. That mindset applies far beyond sword fighting. In business, dating, life, the people at the top aren't just more talented, they're more strategic. They anticipate moves. They study patterns, they don't react, they plan. Want to think 5 steps ahead? Burn this into your skull. Never act without knowing why you're doing it and where it leads. Most men chase women without knowing their endgame. Most people take jobs because it pays decent. They play checkers while the elite play chess. Musashi thought like a general, not a soldier. And the first rule of strategy is simple. Every move must serve a purpose. Stop acting out of emotion. Start acting out of calculated intent. 2. Weaponize observation. Read people like a blade. Musashi could see your weakness before you even touched your sword. He didn't just fight the man, he fought the man's mind. In the Book of 5 Rings, he wrote, "Know your enemy, know his sword." Translation: understand how people move, how they think, how they react. This is where dark psychology creeps in. Most people walk around completely unaware of how obvious they are. You can read them like a billboard. The guy who always brags, insecure. The woman who tests you, she's craving a leader. The nice one, usually the most manipulative. Musashi understood the art of perception. He studied the enemy before the enemy even knew they were at war. If you want to think 5 steps ahead, learn to read intentions before they become actions. Watch how people speak. Watch what they laugh at. Watch what they avoid. This gives you the edge to stay ahead, because while they're talking, you're already predicting their next 3 moves. 3. Control the frame or be controlled. Musashi didn't just fight battles, he controlled them. Time, place, weather, mindset. He dictated it all. You know what that's called? Frame control. And it's more powerful than any sword. The one who controls the frame controls reality. If you let people define the terms, you've already lost. Musashi used mind games to win before a blade was even drawn. He'd show up late. He'd insult opponents. He'd force them into anger, then exploit that anger. In today's world, frame control looks like this. You decide when and how a conversation happens. You don't react emotionally. You guide emotions. You control your presence, your pace, your pressure. Thinking 5 steps ahead requires one thing: master your frame, then bend others into it. People will test your energy, your reactions, your composure. If you crack, they own you. If you hold, you own them. 4. Delay gratification. Think like a shadow. Musashi lived in caves. He ate simply. He avoided pleasure. Why? Because pleasure dulls the blade, and a dulled blade dies fast. He understood this brutal truth. The man who chases pleasure will always be a pawn in another man's game. That's the entire system right now. Hook you on dopamine, on likes, on lust, on sugar. Keep you addicted to small hits so you never play the long game. Musashi chose the hard path, not because he liked it, but because he saw further. He thought 5 moves ahead. He didn't chase comfort, he chased power. You want to be dangerous in this world? Learn to delay gratification until it bends to your will. Don't respond right away. Don't indulge right away. Don't buy what you want right now. Hold, wait, watch. Let the world think you're not paying attention. Then strike with the force of 5 quiet years of patience. 5. Accept death to think without fear. This is where things take a sinister turn. Musashi didn't just prepare for death. He accepted it. He carried it on his back like a shadow. If you fear death, you will be unable to act with a cool mind. Most people live like they'll never die. They hesitate, procrastinate, avoid. They don't start the business. They don't walk away from the toxic girl. They don't risk anything because they're scared. Musashi had zero fear because death wasn't some distant nightmare. It was a companion. You want to think 5 steps ahead? Kill your fear of loss. Kill your fear of failure. Kill your fear of death. Once you do that, you become a ghost in a world of men, unstoppable, untouchable, unpredictable, because while others are calculating how not to lose, you've already accepted loss and are now free to win. The modern Musashi. Look, you don't need a katana, you don't need to live in a cave, but you do need to become dangerous. Because in this world, if you don't control your mind, someone else will. If you don't study strategy, you'll become a tool in someone else's. If you don't think 5 steps ahead, you'll always be a slave to those who do. Weak men wait for permission. Strong men move with intent. But warriors, they shape reality. Musashi won over 60 duels without losing a single one. Not because he was stronger, but because he was smarter, colder, sharper. He didn't rely on luck. He didn't hope. He calculated. He saw through people like glass. He trained harder in one day than most do in a year. Not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. You want to move like him? Have purpose behind every move. Read people with brutal clarity. Control the frame. Delay your gratification. Accept the worst so you can act without fear. Show no emotion when it's time to strike. Detach from outcomes. Attach to precision. That's how you stop being a piece on the board and become the one moving the pieces. This isn't about cosplay. It's not about swords or samurai movies. It's about war. Life is war. And every day you wake up unarmed, you're already losing. Welcome to the way of Musashi. And now that you see the game, what are you going to do next? Thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.